Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the OEA Educational Foundation annual fundraiser and grant showcase, also known as our summer celebration. I am so glad that you took time on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, hopefully in between some fun activities of your own, to join us as we pay honor to some creative and innovative educators from across the state of Ohio who have received grants from the OEA Educational Foundation and also to support the efforts of the foundation. If we could go ahead and move to the next slide, please. So you are aware, the OEA Educational Foundation has been doing great work for the last 3 years now, advancing and supporting education professionals and public school students in the state of Ohio. Our work is all about funding initiatives that enhance student learning, student achievement, student well-being, and promoting social justice. Our board of directors has, in its great wisdom, made the decision to focus our funding in 4 buckets of work. The first is our diversity grants. We know that a great public education for every single student, no matter their background, needs to be one that lifts up and celebrates the diversity of all learners and the diversity of all educators. And so our diversity grant program is all about developing and pursuing instructional classroom programs or curriculum to promote diversity, tolerance, respect, inclusion, equity for all of humankind. Our second grant category is innovation grants. We believe that a great public education inspires in our students their natural curiosity, imagination, and desire to learn. And that's why the OEA Educational Foundation each year funds programs to support innovation and creativity in the classroom, where teachers and education support professionals working together in our schools can enrich student experiences through special projects or other kinds of initiatives. The third area of focus for our Educational Foundation is our Whisper Grant for students in need. We know that far too many of our students are living in poverty. We know that the COVID pandemic of the last 16 months has both exposed and made worse many inequities in our educational system. And that for many students, there are barriers to learning that can be overcome with just a little bit of help. We know that students thrive when there are caring, committed, qualified educators in every classroom. And those caring educators come to us for a little bit of extra help in order to help a student that has an identified hardship to meet an educational or a personal need. And finally, the fourth area of funding that our Educational Foundation does is in partnership with the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. The grants of Wishes for Wish Kids is an opportunity for our local affiliates across Ohio to do some organizing in support of students in their communities who have an acute illness that qualifies them for a Make-A-Wish program activity. And we have locals that are able to work together and show the power of solidarity by coming together and raising funds for that. Our Make-A-Wish program matches local fundraising for those programs. So to give you a better sense of what our foundation is all about, we have chosen several recent foundation grant recipients who have submitted some evidence of the great work that they're doing with students. The first one that we're going to share with you comes from Talmadge, our Talmadge Teachers Association, Talmadge City Schools in Summit County, Ohio. And the first grant is a diversity grant celebrating and really allowing students to participate in an international night with the community. Let's take a look at our first video.
All right, that was awesome. And again, we've got so many incredible programs that are happening with the support of our educational foundation. Before we continue, I want to take a moment and recognize some people who do some outstanding work to make all of this possible, starting with our OEA Educational Foundation Board of Directors. Our board includes members from the OEA board as well as other educator members from around the state, including Cassandra Daniels from the Columbus Education Association, Matt DeMattis from Dublin, myself as president of OEA, Angel Dyer Sanchez from the Columbus Education Association, Marshall Josie from the East Cleveland Education Association, Lori Michalik from the Talmadge Teachers Association, Cheryl Williams from the Dublin Support Association, and Carol Kinsey from OEA Retired. And most importantly, I want to recognize Becky Higgins. It was Becky's vision as our previous OEA president that led to the creation of our OEA Educational Foundation. We are so happy to have been able to support her in seeing that vision to fruition. Much of what you're going to be celebrating and hearing about tonight is thanks to Becky's commitment to making sure that we were not just building strength as a union, but also growing in the nonprofit space to be a real difference maker in the lives of students and educators in the state of Ohio. None of this would be possible. And I see our Vice President, Jeff Wensing, joining us from South Carolina. Hello, Colleen, and hello, Keneal. It's good to see you as people are showing their camera. There's also, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to our OEA officers, Mark Hill and Jeff Wensing, as well as our Executive Director, Patricia Collins-Murdoch. I want to give a special shout out to our previous Executive Director who retired and left us back in December, but Cheryl Mathis, who also working hand in hand, arm in arm with Becky, was so instrumental in getting this foundation off the ground. The work of the foundation would not be possible without the incredible support of our staff. Our staff liaison is Christy Spires, OEA's Chief Financial Officer, and in terms of the day-to-day operation of the foundation, keeping the board going and communications with grant applicants and recipients, processing payments and so forth. Brianna McKay, who is my assistant in the OEA President's Office, does incredible work. We also have some
some really, really important support, particularly for this week's auction and for tonight's event. I want to give a special thank you to our computer services staff, particularly Darren Klum and John Hart, as well as Joel Kohler, who has kept our website going, and so much of what we're doing this year, because we are virtual, is possible only because of that incredible technical support from OEA staff. This year, we are doing this virtually. We look forward to coming back together very soon. Many of you were with us back in 2019 for our first OEA Foundation Celebration Gala. It was a jamboree, a country western theme that was a lot of fun. Next year, and it will coincide with OEA's 175th anniversary as an organization, we will be having our next big gala celebration in the summer of 2022. Be on the lookout for more information as we get closer to that. So we are here to celebrate our grant recipients. We're also here to raise money for our grant. And I am extremely excited to share that this year's auction, which took place over the course of the past week, and hopefully many of you had an opportunity to bid on auction items. As of 6:00 p.m., when the auction officially closed, has raised $3,970, which is amazing. But I know that not everybody on here and not everybody watching will have had an opportunity to have purchased an auction item. In fact, I saw some of the great auction items were going for a pretty high price. So since we're all here to donate or to support the work of the OEA Educational Foundation, I would encourage you to join me in clicking on the link that you see on your screen, ohea.org/OEA Educational Foundation donation. And you can copy that link and put it into your own browser. And today, make a donation, $10, $50, $100, $1,000, whatever it is that you're able to do. We would very, very much appreciate your support. Every single dollar that is donated tonight goes directly to the grant funds that support our educators and students across the state of Ohio. So thank you to all of you who have already donated. Thanks to all who donated auction items. Thanks to everybody who purchased an auction item. Again, I hope that we can all give at least a little bit through a cash donation to the auction, if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, through that link. And at the end of the event tonight, I will share how much we were able to raise this evening. So with that, we're going to move on to our next video. This comes from Hardin Northern Local. This is an innovation grant that is all about experiential education. Join me in taking a look.
This is our Living History Day at Hardin Northern. We've got reenactors from different time periods who are here to help the elementary students kind of introduce them to history. We've got Civil Artillery, Civil Infantry. The FCCLA is here showing how to cook 1800 style. We've got World War I, World War II, fur trade, basically giving the elementary a taste of what living history was really like.
You know, more than anything else, they're just enjoying learning. They're enjoying seeing and enjoying the fact that it's so hands-on. Just a fun day for them to kind of break the monotony of, you know, everyday schooling, to get to come and get to actually see, you know, the way it was a long time ago is pretty important.
elementary students to learn about our nation's past and the sacrifices made by our veterans.
Hello, my name is Kylie. I'm president of the History Brigade. This year, we wanted to honor the service of our veterans through a project meant to preserve their stories, called the Living Memory Project.
What is History Brigade, you might ask? History Brigade is a high school students club at Hardin Northern where we spread our love of history. We also participate in events and activities throughout the community to spread the preservation of history.
History Brigade is not a class, it's strictly a blast.
It is a club for people who share the same interests to reserve and learn about history.
Now, back to our project. We have several people to look up to at Hardin Northern. This includes alumni who have excelled in academics, athletics, and the arts. This also includes inspiration from teachers and coaches. Throughout the Living Memory Project, we'd like to honor a different type of hero, our local community veterans. We would like to ask you questions about who you are, what you've done, and lessons you would like to pass on to us.
We will capture these memories on video where they can be preserved as lessons for all those who come after us.
We will try to produce videos of our best quality, but please bear with us as we are still learning how to make videos for you guys.
To start, we want to interview relatives of History Brigade members, then open it to other members of the community. We will ask you a few questions, but we just want to hear your story.
Whether you were drafted or volunteered,
whether you served during conflict or during peacetime, we want to say thank you.
For being willing to sacrifice and serve our nation.
From the time you've spent away from your family.
You've given so much for us. Let us give something back to you.
So this is what we use for the Living Memory Project, and we'll put people down, and we can tell their story, and we can put their pictures behind them.
So where did all this come from?
We got this from Grants just last year. We just bought them a couple months ago.
So what was this project for?
The Living Memory Project. This is where the veterans sit and tell their story.
Okay, that's cool.
Living memory is important because it gives veterans the opportunity to share their stories, their memories, and their experiences with future generations who can learn from their service and appreciate their sacrifices is our way of saying thank you.
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's great that you got, a history class like this, because it's unlike any history class that I ever had. Your living history class is a small one, and that's something that seems like it should be for everybody. I realize that a lot of people don't really care about history, and in a way, I was that way at one time. You know, it happened 50 years ago, but so did World War II when I was a kid. But it's still something that, like your sign back there said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. But the only problem with that is the people that repeat it, they're not so much that they don't learn from it, it's just that they think, well, I'm smarter than those people were. When it's all said and done, they find out that they're not a bit smarter, and you screwed up and made the same mistakes that was already made. And that's frustrating for people that ultimately pay the price.
For it.
All right. Always great to see our kids and that interaction between kids and members of the community. Again, projects like that possible because of your support for our educational foundation. You see on your screen the way that you can donate online tonight. Any and all donations will be very, very much appreciated. I want to, before we move on to the next video, I want to share just a couple of other special projects that the OEA Educational Foundation has funded in the last year or so. One, and actually we've done it twice, contributed $5,000 to the Anthony Spano Foundation in the Mahoning Valley up in the Youngstown area for the Spano Foundation's School Supply Fund. They have an incredible backpack program that serves hundreds of students from across that region, students in need. This is right in line with our mission with our Whisper Grant Fund. It's a way to scale that up, working in partnership with the Spano Foundation. Anthony Spano is a former employee at Youngstown State University, an OEA member. So that's one partnership. Another partnership that we've been able to do, which is new this year, is contributing to First Lady Fran DeWine's Imagination Library. This is part of the national network that you may be familiar with to put books in the hands of students from all backgrounds, really encouraging imagination, literacy, helping ensure that students are coming to us, to our K-12 public schools, ready to learn, and we are so proud to be able to do that. One particular benefactor of the OEA Educational Foundation that I would like to highlight is the Student Resource Center. Student Resource Center, led by Michael Perrick, has been partnering with OEA for several years as part of the free college program, which allows OEA members and their families to receive free college. At first it was through Eastern Gateway Community College, and a 2-year degree program is now includes 4-year program credits to allow people to get up to a bachelor's degree through Central State University. Student Resource Center has been a great partner in that free college program that benefits union members and their families. But what's especially exciting, right in line with our mission to lift up diversity in the education profession, is a program called Pathways. OEA is working with Student Resource Center, Eastern Gateway, Central State University, and our friends at the Ohio Federation of Teachers on an incredible program that allows students of all ages and targets particularly young people of color to go into a 4-year licensure program at Central State University completely free. There is no cost for tuition and fees and books, all covered by the program. And we are partnering in that endeavor by having OEA members serve as program mentors for student participants. It is just launching. We were excited because we had over 75 OEA members from across the state that came to an informational meeting, well over 100 that applied to serve as mentors. As this program gets off the ground, we know that we take away economic barriers and we provide role models to help young people understand just how promising a profession this is. We can really make a difference for the future of education here in the state of Ohio. And we've received a lot of very positive feedback from the Ohio Department of Higher Education, from NEA, and from others around the country who are watching this and hoping to learn from this innovative, very exciting initiative. So with that, again, encourage you all to give if you can, if you haven't done so yet. We know that a great public education is not just about academic learning, but meeting the needs of the whole child in and out of the classroom. Also making sure that we have a well-rounded curriculum. So for our next video, this is not a grant recipient, but we are honored to have the Princeton High School Orchestra give us a little bit of a musical interlude. So let's sit back and enjoy the music of the Princeton High School Orchestra from Hamilton County.
sunshine from pure desire. Let me feel that love flow to me. Let me feel how strong it could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Whoa. Bring me a higher love. I will rise above on a higher love. I will wait for it.
Wow, I am always amazed at the talent of Ohio's public school students, and the students at Princeton High School certainly did not disappoint. We had the Princeton High School Orchestra, the Princeton High School Show Choir, and the Princeton High School Concert Band entertaining us this evening. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Deborah Jackson, who is a music educator in the Princeton City Schools and a member of OEA's Board of Directors. The Vice President of the Southwestern Ohio Education Association. This is what it looks like when we give our students opportunity to have a well-rounded education. And right now, we are eagerly awaiting the results of budget deliberations on whether or not we're going to see the Fair School Funding Plan adopted as part of our state budget. We continue to advocate for opportunities for all of our students, no matter their background, whether they're from urban, suburban, or rural schools, whether they're Black, white, brown, indigenous. Students from all backgrounds deserve an opportunity for a high quality education. I'll also mention, while we're talking a little bit about what's happening legislatively, that we got a big win in the legislature yesterday with a major overhaul of Ohio's state report card system, passed by the House and Senate, on its way to the governor for his signature. No more will we see A to F letter grade report cards. And because of our advocacy, there is an opportunity profile embedded in that legislation that includes a measure of whether or not students are receiving a well-rounded curriculum that includes the arts and music and physical education, career technical education, as part of talking about the opportunities that we're providing for students to be successful. Of course, not being graded or rated or ranked or shamed on that, but as a way of lifting up what we expect for every single one of our students. At this time, I want to remind everybody, John, if we can show that slide one more time. It is not too late to give a contribution to the foundation. I know that the link has been shared in the chat. ohea.org/OEA hyphen educational foundation donation. You see that address right there. We'll be happy to take your donations. At this time, it's my pleasure to share with you our final showcase grant of the evening. This is from North College Hill, right near Princeton. And the name of this diversity grant project is We Dance Together. Let's take a look at the video.
Terrell, listen. Tiny, tiny. Good, Aaron. Step clap, let's go. You and me. Tonight, yeah. Big jump, what do you like? Let me see the films. Show me the stars, Michelle. Great job. What a beautiful life. Up, down, down, let's go. Squish those bugs. Up, down, down, Terrell, arms up. Yes, excellent, nice Aaron. Squish them.
As a speech and language pathologist, I've been impressed with dance as a way to approach communication development. I have seen students increase in their joint attention skills, their ability to look together at another person dancing, look together at the teacher, point and follow the point, look at him leap. It's amazing what students will do when they are motivated and when they are in a relationship with their peers and their teachers, this positive, meaningful, cooperative relationship. And students have opportunities during this class to voice their opinion, to participate in activities using sign language and using communication devices, making this or that choices. All the opportunities are there. This year was really challenging with COVID. We did many of our dance classes virtually. So even when our students were present in our school building, our dance teacher was not. So what this meant is that we had students on individual iPads, we had classroom smart boards with the dance teacher video with her image up there teaching the entire class. We had families joining us for our students who were home on remote instruction. They were participating in dancing. More staff was able to join. It was great. Some of the problems were there was some difficulty with the inclusive piece. So our students with special needs had all of the opportunity. However, the interaction with their peers was a little more limited this year. We had one partnership, a beautiful partnership in one of our classrooms with 2 kindergarten students. Once we were back in school full time and our teacher was with us also, we were able to put together a student from our special needs classroom with a peer from her general education inclusion room. And we were able to watch this relationship develop over the course of dance class. And you'll see in this video some pictures of them dancing together, looking at each other, looking together towards another point that they were dancing towards. They became friends. They became dance friends. They had a meaningful cooperative relationship in this class where they were working together to go through the dance routines with the teachers. And it was really beautiful. What I want to see next, and we plan to do next year, is to really be able to track and follow these students after dance class. So when we've made this match with typical peers and we've completed the dance class, what happens in the general education class as a result? Do these friendships continue? Do they expand? How does it develop? And that's the question we have for next year, and we're just really looking forward to seeing what happens next with We Dance Together. Thank you.
Right. Other things I've noticed in my own students who struggle with motor skills is the pride that they have in themselves when they suddenly jump and turn or cross midline or step over an object that would be like climbing a mountain for us. The simple things that we take for granted and the everyday challenges they face, and they're suddenly dancing and not thinking about how hard it is. But then they realize that they've accomplished that, and they're like, oh, I'm dancing, I'm having fun, and I just did this. So we have seen just the students glow from this program.
It's well established that inclusion benefits all students. What we typically see for inclusion in the schools is students with special needs, with a variety of needs, being included in a general education classroom for a certain amount of time. Often that time is selected based on interests and strengths, but no matter how it's selected, our students are entering a classroom that runs all day long, every day of the school year. And our students who come in for specific lengths of time are not as exposed to the daily routines as the other students. They are not as familiar with each other, with the other peers, or with the teachers. And on the other side of things, the teachers and peers are not as familiar with them. The teachers may not be familiar with how to provide needed accommodations and modifications. They might not be comfortable modeling communication strategies, such as using sign language or a communication device for our students with communication challenges. So, although there's so many positive parts to inclusion, to all inclusion, there are also challenges. And We Dance Together attempts to remove some of the challenges in order to provide a space where all of the students can participate in a meaningful experience together. So with We Dance Together, our classes are designed to be within the student's comfortable environment. So this could be a resource room or a therapy space. It's a classroom that can provide accommodations and modifications for our students, where daily routines are already established and known, just a place that's familiar to our students with special needs. So our students begin their dance class without their typical peers. They have a period of time of weeks where they get to know the dance routines and the routine of the class. The teacher becomes familiar with them, they become familiar with the teacher. The rest of the staff is in place to provide help as needed. And by the time the typical peers come to join our class in our classroom, our students are the experts in this class. They are able to welcome their peers, show them around the classroom, show them where to sit, help them learn the new routines, introduce them to the teacher. And there's a sense of pride, a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership that we just haven't seen in other areas of inclusion in the school building.
I'm an intervention specialist, and this year my kids got to participate in the We Dance Together program. It has been so amazing seeing them participate in this program with their peers, and this program gave them a chance to become leaders, and that's something that we don't get to see all the time. And I've seen their confidence build, and they're just beaming with pride about them knowing the dance moves, and they get to help others out. So it has been very beneficial for my kids, and I am so glad that even in this very tough pandemic year, they were able to thrive, and they did amazing.
The We Dance Together project has been phenomenal, and it leaps and bounds exceeded my expectations. When I first heard that they were coming to North College Hill, I thought, oh, that will be fun. And then we saw the change in the students that were in the autistic spectrum and only into themselves were suddenly taking peers' hands and sashaying. The high energy that I saw from some of our students that come to school kind of ho-hum were up suddenly reaching for the stars and enjoying life and celebrating, and the sign language that they were learning and they didn't even know they were learning. Just was very heartwarming.
2, 3, 4. Wow. Good. Big leg, Aaron. Nice job. Eyes up, Knox. Yes. Go, King Terrell. Oh, ball. Slow down. Free class, let's go. Good. Big breath. Let's ready? All together, let's say it. Thank you. Put your hands in. Thank you. Me. Give yourself a big hug and a pat on the back. I'll take off.
All right, again, another incredible grant project. And again, seeing how we're standing up for all of our students, including our students with special needs, I think something for all of us to be proud of. At this time, I would like to give a special thank you to everyone who was a winner in this week's auction. Again, you can support the foundation even if you weren't able to successfully bid on one of our auction items. But that includes Cheryl Mathis, Wayne Ledarsky, Mary Alice Conkey, Becky Higgins, Angela Savinda, Jamie Thompson, Jay Sanchez, Steve Dyer, Sue Messenger, Cheryl Williams, Benita Gauss, Sharon Callahan, Scott Tomorrow, Tamika Moss, Lori McCalick, Jennifer Long, and Norval Crandall, as well as a couple of anonymous donors. So that is exciting. And again, everybody who was able to get an auction item, check your email for instructions on how to pick up your item and pay for it. Again, that link that's been shared, everyone can still make a cash donation. John, if you could also put up the slide that shows a cumulative list of all of our grant recipients over the last several years. You can see that we have given collectively, and if you count the special donations that we made to the First Lady's Imagination Library and the Spano Foundation, well over $50,000 in grants to support diversity, innovation, and students in need, as well as to support the great work of our locals doing Make-A-Wish Foundation fundraising projects. Again, you see from Cary, Reynoldsburg, North College Hill, Boardman, Noble Local, North College Hill, again, Vinton Local, Southwest Licking, Columbus, Fairfield, Forest Hills, Mahoning County Career and Tech Center, and the Westerville Education Association, as well as a number of individual students receiving Make-A-Wish grants or Whisper grants. I did mention, by the way, that I appreciated the special generosity of Michael Perrick and the Student Resource Center. I forgot to mention just how much they have committed in support. The Student Resource Center, in appreciation for our partnership on the Pathways Project to promote diversity in the profession, has committed to $500,000 in support for the OEA Educational Foundation, $100,000 a year over the next 5 years. And again, that is incredibly exciting. So as we wrap up our celebration for today, once again, thanks to every single one of you. Thanks especially to Becky Higgins and Lori McCalick, who headed up the committee to organize tonight's event, for our staff that made it possible, to everyone for their financial contributions, and every single one of you for lifting up the success of students in everything that you do every day. That is it for this year's special summer celebration and grant showcase. I look forward to seeing all of you when we're all back together in person in Columbus in 2022 for our next Foundation Gala event and celebration of OEA's 175th anniversary. Thanks again. Have a great night.